Okay, welcome back to the state anxiety activity for the answers and how it can help you in your performance. So hopefully by now you have rated your performance for 10 different activities, and you have also rated your anxiety levels for the same activities. What do you notice about your lines when you've plotted them together? Have you got lines that seem to follow the same pattern? So when there is a rise in one, there is a rise in the other. When there is a fall in one, there is a fall in the other. Do the two lines follow the same gradient of going up and down at the same time? If they do, what is happening here? How can a coach use this information to improve your performance? Working with you, there is certain things that a coach could do now they know that this is your profile in order to improve your performance. If you pause the video here and record your answers and then come back to it when you've done it, and I'll explain. Okay. So I think you must have had a few thoughts about what happens if the two lines are very similar in gradient. It sort of means that if your state anxiety is high, like the blue curve on here, then your performance has also been high or good, like the orange line on here. And the same is true, of course, if anxiety falls, then so does your performance as well. So what does this say about you? This says that perhaps you perform much better when you are stressed, worried, anxious, nervous, psyched up about the game that's about to take place. What could a coach do with you? Well, they could psych you up, knowing that you perform better being psyched. They could psych you up. They could make sure you're in all the team talks, raising the importance of the game, increasing the stress levels and anxiety. They could be possibly even aggressive with their talk before a game. You know, increasing levels of aggression often psychs players up. They could use motivational speeches or anecdotes, stories about the opposition. They could use aggressive language. But they could in some ways try to make you think that this game is very, very important, raising your levels of anxiety, raising your stress levels, psyching you up, and therefore increasing performance. We have to be careful, of course, that we don't increase somebody as anxiety too much in order to make them too aggressive. If you have a profile that looks like this, the opposite, and you have two lines that seem to be doing the opposite to each other, so you have performance goes down but anxiety goes up, or anxiety goes down when performance goes up. If you have the two lines that are sort of doing the opposite thing and they don't seem to follow the same pattern, they're up and down at opposite times, then this also says something about your performance. What's happening here? And how can a coach use this type of profile to improve your performance? Okay, again, pause the video, record your answers, and come back to me when you've done that. Okay, so I think hopefully you've had a chance to record some answers about what somebody would do with this type of profile graph. This seems to suggest that when state anxiety is high, then performance is low. Right? When state anxiety is low, performance is high. It's the opposites. So this type of player obviously performs really well when their anxiety levels are a lot lower. What could I do with that player as a coach? What could the player do for themselves? Well, before a game, this player would need to be calmed down. They maybe would be removed from any aggressive team talk. They wouldn't sit in, the times when we were talking about what we need to do, and if we don't do this, this is going to happen. And they would perhaps need to be removed from all motivational speeches, and basically use calm, quiet, calming language before a game. Massages would help, muscle rubs, reducing the importance of the game, making the player feel calmer, lowering the expectations, making sure that the player was very low in terms of anxiety levels and stress, and not psyched up at all for the game, because that's when they seem to play at their best. Now, of course, I might have both sets of players in my team, so I might be having to do different things with different players, and that's how this activity could help your performance. Thank you.